Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone had an awesome weekend. We definitely... Oh my goodness. Just starting right off the bat. Doc, thank you so much for the raid of Party of 6. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Ayo. How's it going? Morning. We're starting hot today. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. If you have never seen this channel before, we are A Difficult Truth. How's that for timing? Oof. I would argue that was even just slightly even better timing than Dr. Heemdoubt's raid. Yeah, that's right. How's that for Shade? How's that for Twitch infighting? No, I really do appreciate that. For those of you guys that haven't seen this channel before, we are A Difficult Truth. We do news and politics in the man Twitch drama this morning. Oh yeah, we're about it. All right, we're turning a new leaf. Okay, this is just a drama channel from now on. All I'm gonna do is throw underhanded shade at all the lefty streamers. Oh man. Voosh. Hey Echo Lou, how's it going? What did I just miss? Oh, just light banter. Welcome. I was just messing around with Doc Win. But I do appreciate it. If you guys don't know who we are A Difficult Truth. We do news and politics in the mornings, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And on Saturdays, we hang out for Saturday Catterday. This shirt, actually, my girlfriend just bought me this shirt. Best cat dad ever. I don't know if you can see the bottom part. It says just ask Bakita, which is the name of our kitty cat. Bakita, aka Little Moo Moo. Yeah, so we have Saturday Catterdays, guaranteed kitty cat on stream, and we just kind of play video games or just hang out. It's pretty chill. So hang out with us on Saturday Catterdays, and you get the bonus of our co-host joining us. Yeah, that's who we are. Thank you so much for bringing your community here. Welcome. We're just getting started. Make sure you grab your coffee. Make sure you're situated with a coffee in hand, or tea, or water, whatever your favorite beverage is. Voosh. Maybe I can set the kitty cam if she's willing to stay. Alright folks, we got some stuff to cover. On Saturday Catterday, we tuned into some of the MAGA rally, thanks to Darknet for finding that on YouTube, but I tried to go back to it, it's no longer there. So I've had to use my alternative methods to get the Trump speech that happened. Funny enough, the Trump speech actually happened right after we went to we signed off, so we're gonna catch up with that, and let's see what our very stable genius has to say. That was weird, yeah. Hello? Okay. You know, I went through the trouble of going through everything to try to find this speech, but it's not there. It was like he was using the Zoom green screen. Is this on YouTube? Because I tried looking for it and I can't find it. And here we are forced to use like a Gab video player.
Thank everybody. I'm apologetic because gas prices have...
Oh. Well, there's one.
A real count, we won very easily. So how do you come up with a poll 17 points down?
But here we go.
Back 4 years, they had the same poll. I was 17 points down. So how do you come up with a poll 17 points down? But if you go back 4 years, they had the same poll. I was 17 points down, and we ended up winning. So all that is suppression by the fake news media.
Yes.
And it's suppression by big tech.
Yep.
And frankly, the Democrats, because the Democrats are their partner. But I just...
Wait, should we...
I love Wisconsin. I love the state. I love the...
Should we play like bingo? Should we play bingo with this? I think that this was like a cell phone recording of the actual transmission. I don't know.
This country, in Wisconsin, as you know, you're building ships, big ones, big contracts, $3 billion because of me. I made sure it went to Wisconsin.
Oh, because of you.
I'm very happy about it. And the people of Wisconsin are very happy. Mike, I want to thank you. You're a courageous patriot. And some of the people, you have my friends there, Diamond and Silk. We love Diamond and Silk.
Oh my God.
Charlie Kirk, Chris Cox, Bikers for Trump. I'll tell you, I didn't know.
Oh,
Chris,
we got to see part of Charlie Kirk's speech. Yikes.
Every time I went 4 years ago and more recently, thousands of bikers show up, and I felt extremely
I'm on one of those
safe.
ships right
They
now.
are great people. And Dinesh D'Souza, they treated him very badly. We gave him a pardon. They treated him very, very unfairly. He's a talented guy, a brilliant guy, and another brilliant guy and a friend of mine is Sheriff Clark. I feel very comfortable around Sheriff Clark. Nothing gonna happen to me around Sheriff Clark. He's about law and order.
Law and order. Oh, that's another one.
Just a little while ago, a lot of people
we got fake news. We got law and order.
are commenting. We do press releases now because we were banned from Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and others.
Yeah, this is a recording of it, I think.
And the reason they want to silence
you see how it's moving?
is because of the election. It's not because of other things. It's because of the election. Cancel culture, call it what you will.
Cancel culture.
But the reason is because of the election, because they know the results. They know what really happened. That's why if you go to any place, you see the kind of fight that the Democrats put up. They don't want recounts. They don't want forensic audits in particular.
Wait. No, wait. Hold on, buddy. No. That's not how this works. He's still singing his praises. Yeah, like the Dinesh D'Souza speech was hilarious too. Dinesh D'Souza, hey lazy pajamas. Dinesh D'Souza had the gall of coming up there and trying to use the immigrant IDPOL card while saying like, oh, the last thing the last thing an immigrant wants to hear is Dinesh D'Souza versus the United States, you know, and I think that was unfair. Now I know I may have messed around with campaign money. I know I did some shady campaign finance business, but still, like, wait. The reason why you were investigated is because you were doing campaign financing, shady business, dude.
They don't want it, but in
I'd like to also point out that he was pardoned by Trump as well.
Arizona, you have incredible people. Karen Fann, Senator. Sonny Borelli, Senator.
Yeah, look at the way he's holding his own arms, true.
These are incredible American patriots.
American
patriots.
What they do.
That's their audit. It's not my audit. I have nothing to do with that. That's their audit.
Oh, yeah, sorry. What I was going to say is, like, that's not how any of this works. There was recounts, and then there was recounts to recounts. We've done multiple investigations, multiple court cases. Yeah, dude, you've been out of gas. This is all just, like, nonsense. Oh, hold on, folks. The cat wants out. I'll show you the kitty cat. Okay. Tried to take a swipe at my mic. On a scale of 1 to 10, how vapid is this Trump speech? I have no idea. I haven't watched it. No idea. The Trump 2024 people might want to hit the drawing board.
They have done an incredible job. They are really being pushed by the people of the state because the people of the state don't understand the election. And that's a good thing to be doing what they're doing because they have to understand the election. When they don't believe in the election, that's a very, very bad thing for our country and for democracy. And I just don't think people are going to...
I agree. So why do you keep pushing like nonsense lies? Like, wait, if you care about the elections and you care about democracy, why do you continue to push these lies? And second of all, like, what does that mean that the people need to understand? Like, I mean, how many more court cases do you want? How many more recounts do you want? Like, what do you mean?
Going to let that happen. They want to know how the election turned out and why it turned out that way. And if there was cheating, if there was fraud, they want to know about that. But I just put out a statement.
Yeah. We found those people who committed fraud. There's about, I think at this point, maybe 20-something people. Maybe. I think in the recent, what was that? The recent recount or audit or whatever found 27 ballots, and then out of those 27 ballots, 11 of them were worth looking into because of you know, potentially people trying to vote twice or anything like that. But like 11 ballots out of what, 3-point-something million ballots? I mean, this is standard procedure. This happens every election in terms of like the minuscule handful amount of actual real voter fraud where someone really attempts to, you know, mess around with the ballots, right? But till this day, there has not been a serious proof of any type of widespread election fraud or widespread voter fraud, even remotely, even worth looking at to overturn the results of this election. And quite frankly, it's in line with all other previous elections, right? 0.00 whatever 4.003%. Like it's completely irrelevant. Okay, there's no amount of recounts, there's no amount of audits that could possibly find you the votes you need, my dude. Like, give it up. Thank you for the follow, Asia Worlds. You learned that from Roy Cohn? Huh. No, notice how he's hedging his statements. He has had a lawyer tell him he cannot make claims directly. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah. Given the fact that 2 of his buddies are facing billion-dollar lawsuits, including Mike Lindell and I think Sidney Powell, I think he's being very... Yeah, you're right.
And I said, we were right, listen to this, on the hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, wait, what?
And it works. You saw the reports just came out.
Wait.
The virus came from the Chinese lab.
Wait, whoa. No. We found anecdotal evidence that in certain cases that was never like a widespread consensus that hydroxychloroquine worked. There was some like anecdote success, but not really like a consensus that this is that this worked. We have yet to confirm that the COVID escaped from a lab. We should investigate, and we have reason to investigate, sure. But the assertion that it absolutely did come from a lab is incorrect. Okay, the assertion that it came from a lab is incorrect. We're exactly as we were months ago. We just don't know. Okay, we just don't know. So yeah, this assertion is completely false, and also hydroxychloroquine also false. I mean, oh boy.
Coronavirus, Hunter Biden's laptop was real. They tried to say, well,
Wait, hold on. Did anything ever come out of Hunter Biden's laptop other than very, very, very lewd pictures that got Destiny banned? Wait. Did an actual investigation or like any type of like legal, stuff came out of Hunter Biden's laptop other than like the, other than like lewd pictures? Other than that, hey, Surfer Go Gritty, thank you so much for the resubscription on 2-month streak. Thank you. I'm 20 minutes late for work. Yikes, due to police blockage of the original route. What? And I still got one of my cups of tea in my bag, so I have to go home, get a different bag. Yikes. Happy Mother in Monday and 2 months keeping me sane. Hey, howdy. Yeah, the only thing that came out of Hunter Biden's laptop was memes. Anyways, other than like lewd pictures and like, yeah, he's had a, rowdy lifestyle. Okay, whatever. But like anything that like brings up any type of weird, any type of evidence to the claims that there was some weird shady dealings or whatever. I forget like what the claim was at this point because there's no investigations because there's nothing really there. There's nothing really there, but he's still going on about Hunter Biden's. If we get Hillary Clinton's emails, that'll be bingo. He's lying and playing escape from accountability game, so I can't say how his rhetoric is shifted. I just assume it's all lies. Yeah, it's like 90% lies. I think the majority of these 3 minutes have just been a lot of vague points and a lot of just flat out lies.
It was made by Russia. Russia.
Hunter
Biden's laptop was real.
Okay.
Lafayette Square was not cleared for a photo op. That just came out, and I want to thank the Inspector General for having the courage to come out with the truth. They were saying Lafayette Square was a big deal. By the way, they tried to burn down, these insurrectionists, they tried to burn down the church, which was built at the same time as the White House, and they almost got it. Interestingly, they did fireproofing work a week before. If they didn't do that it was luck.
It was luck.
Maybe it was from God.
Luck.
If they
Maybe it
didn't
was
do
from
that
God. I'm not
fireproofing
sure.
work, the church would have been burned down.
Now,
the Russian bounty story was a fake. Remember that? The Russian bounty. It was a total fake. We did not produce, and think of this, the vaccines, all of the vaccines were saving. Frankly, I believe in freedom. You have to make your own choice. But the vaccines are saving not only the country, they're saving the world.
I have to wait. I have to walk the fine line between like keeping my like anti-vaxxer crowd happy by saying, well, it's a personal choice, and also, but also say like, thanks to me, the world is being safe. Thanks to me. Wait. Oh man.
Another 1917 where you lost almost 100 million people with the Spanish flu. So the vaccines, and we did it in less than 9 months. Everybody said it was going to take 3-4. Dr. Fauci, your favorite person, said it would take 3, 4, 5 years. Don't even do it because it's going to take so long.
Wait.
The FDA does not like me very much.
Hold on. Can anybody find me a quote from Dr. Fauci saying that it shouldn't be done? That it should never be done? That it's not worth doing because it's going to take too long? Wait. I want to see Trump's financial dealings with Russian oligarchs, especially the oligarch he sold his properties to 40 million. Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised considering his, and this is even before his presidency. It has nothing to do with him being in office. But even before then, this is the reason why I believe not only Florida, but Southern District of New York is also interested in obtaining his like financial dealings, because like even beforehand, he's been involved in like sketchy dealing after sketchy dealing. Hey, New Good, how's it going? The mental gymnastics are exhausting. True.
That I can tell you. They don't like me even a little bit. because I pushed them like they've never been pushed. It was supposed to take 3 to 5 years. I got it done in less than 9 months.
I'm hanging in there.
So the vaccine's big deal. That's a really big deal. And then we bought billions of dollars before we knew it even worked. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had the vaccine till October of this year. So nobody, all of the people that have been able to get their shots, nobody
has he asked his base for charitable donations yet? Yeah.
But remember, it's also about freedom.
Automatically.
So it's your choice. Blue state lockdowns didn't work. They were a disaster.
Wait, no. Hold on. You can't just say, like, vaccine saved the world. It was me. It was me. And then on the same breath, like, still insist that it's your choice. Like, no, you should be... If it's your success, why are you, like, so weirdly walking this thin line? If it's your success, why don't you be like, yes, you should all be taking the vaccine. That was me. Like, what are you talking about?
You look at New York, you look at California, you look at Illinois, you look at the blue states run by governors of a certain party.
What? Of a certain party?
The Democrat Party. They didn't work. They were a disaster. And then you look at Texas and Florida and all of our great representatives and governors that have done such a great job.
That was also a disaster.
The schools have to be opened. We've been saying that for a year. Open up the schools. And our border security programs were vitally important and successful. All Biden had to do, all he had to do is just leave it alone. So we went from the most successful, the safest border in the history of our country, think of that,
guys,
to the worst and most dangerous border.
Wow. Look at that. Like the moment Biden takes office, like it just suddenly becomes like the most unsafe. In less than, folks, in like 100 days, last safe border. Unbelievable. I'm good. I just finished my MMPR. Nice. Rich Neal, congressman from Massachusetts, ranking member of House Committee, could release Trump's tax return. He has refused them. Yes, I heard about this too. Yep. I'm not surprised.
And it's not just people coming in. Frankly, in many ways, that's the least of it. Drugs are flowing in at a point that we've never seen before.
Source?
Levels that we've never seen before. If you look at the human trafficking, unfortunately, mostly trafficking in women. Nobody's ever seen numbers like this. These are killers, these are thugs, These are people that are being released from the jails of other countries. I stopped payment to those other countries. I get along very well with the heads of those countries. I stopped payment to those countries, and they accepted all of their MS-13 people back. They were not taking it back for a long time. And I said, well, how much do we pay? And they said, we paid them $500 million a year. I said, stop payment immediately. The next day I was called by the heads of those countries saying we would be honored to take MS-13 back into our country. It would be a great honor.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Second of all, MS-13 was here. It was made here. You want to see your man? That's your man. Interesting. Here's the thing. I mean, if you pay attention long enough, you'll see just how much he lies. Nobody's ever seen numbers like this. Yeah, I know. And like doesn't even provide exactly like what he's necessarily talking about. Like I don't know what this means. First of all, source, where are you getting these quote unquote statistics from? What statistics of all these drugs that are coming into the country from the southern border? Second of all, how do you know? What is it? How did you parse out the statistics between like the quote unquote thugs and murderers and whatever you tried to pin on immigrants? Like what does that mean? And how did you parse that out?
So what we've done is incredible. What we've done in terms of the border, in terms of rebuilding our military, so many other things. Right to Try, as an example. Right to Try. For 44 years they've been trying to get it approved. That's where somebody's terminally ill, and we won't let them use a very promising medicine. So we've done all of these things, but illegal border crossings, look at what's happening to our country now. Illegal border crossings are up more than 1,400%. That's 1,400%, and getting much worse. And this is only the people that we capture. And then they release him, of course, because we had a policy, stay in Mexico. You have to stay in Mexico. We won that in the courts, and we won it with Mexico.
All right, that's
and
it.
we
Like,
get along great with Mexico and the president.
we all know what the next step is. That's enough.
He's a terrific guy. It's no good for him either. It's no good because people are coming in from all over the world, not just...
Yeah, hold on. That makes a great point, Doc Win. How are you rebuilding the military if the military has never suffered a funding shortage? Wait. Wait. How could you claim that the military was in shambles, as he always claimed throughout his presidency, if it never, in fact, it increased its funding under this administration again, did it not?
From Latin America, South America, they're coming in from all sorts of countries, the Middle East.
The Middle East.
So we have people.
Yeah, known. Wait, can anybody point me to like a serious problem where we have like Middle Eastern, like, I don't know, in his mind, I imagine this is just me trying to act out what's going on in his mind. Does he think that like there's like Middle Eastern like terrorists coming down to like destroy America through the southern border? Like, where's the source for this?
Coming in, I just saw a report where Sweden is doing very bad on crime.
Sweden.
Germany is doing very bad on crime. These used to be the safest countries in Europe, and now they're becoming very unsafe. One of the most unsafe countries is Sweden. You know why? They're letting in people into their country that are causing tremendous disruption. Well, we're letting in people at a level that Sweden never even could imagine. So
What?
people are just flowing across our borders.
Flowing.
We had it stopped. We built almost 500 miles of border wall, and it would have been finished in 4 weeks. And then Biden decided to stop it. So now we have openings, and now I understand they want to stop it, but...
Wait. Wasn't he... Hold on. Wasn't he touting throughout his entire presidency how awesome, how effective the wall is? And now he's complaining that, wait, hold on. The reason why we're experiencing these unprecedented surges is not because of, the usual surge that happens right before the summer. As we get into these months, of course, the beginning of the year, there's always a surge, and plus we had to also take into consideration the people from last year that didn't come. So yeah, of course it's a surge, I get it, but he wasn't he like touting the fact that his wall was 90%, like he made up some ridiculous statistic, like 90% effective or something like that. So why is it all of a sudden different? Like, why is it all of a sudden now it's not effective? It's Biden's fault because he didn't finish 500 miles of it. Then it would be like, I don't get it. Like, where like it either works or it didn't.
They're having a hard time with the contractors. I know contractors better than anyone. They're very brilliant. They may not read or write in some cases, but you know what? They're smarter than the rest. They're smarter.
Oh, yeah. This is part 1.
The real count, we won very easily. So.
No, you lost the election. This is part 2. Ugh. It's like a garden hose, but with human beings.
Thank everybody. I'm apologetic because gas prices have skyrocketed. If you look at your gasoline prices, when I left, it was $1.87 a gallon, and now it's way over $3 in many cases. And by the way, I hate to say it, but
no.
Really,
$1.87? Impossible. That's just like wasn't a thing. Maybe in like I guess it depends on the area, but that's just not a thing. Sorry. Okay. And second of all, he's going to complain about the gas prices, which, first of all, the gas prices like are having a current surge. Well, first of all, it's summer again, and second of all, we had an incident where an entire East Coast like pipeline was like disrupted So yeah, that's gonna cause an increase of like prices for a moment. Like holy shit. You can only succeed if you're shitting on disparaging others. True.
Going up. The Keystone Pipeline, 48,000 people. The real number is 48,000 people.
No.
Out of work almost immediately. Now,
Nope.
Biden never said that during the campaign. I told you he would do that.
The real number is about like what, 50 something permanent jobs at most.
But he never said that during the campaign. So the Keystone Pipeline, a disaster, and yet he allows Russia, I stopped the
That's right. Not only that, like the Biden administration didn't ban them. They were the ones who pulled out after, not being able to deal with it anymore. Yeah? His only apology is higher gas prices. What about the other terrible things?
stopped the Russia pipeline, probably the biggest pipeline in the world, going into Germany and other countries in Europe. It was stopped. He approved it, and he let it be built. So he let them have a pipeline in Europe by Russia, but he doesn't let us have the Keystone XL pipeline.
I thought you didn't care about Russia.
People are out of work, and the union heads, believe it or not, they supported Joe Biden. They're going to get rid of those union heads right now. I will tell you, the workers supported me, but they supported Joe Biden. You look at
the workers supported me, but they supported Joe Biden? Huh?
so many other things like China and the China virus. They have to pay reparations. We've been hurt so badly in terms of death, human life, and in terms of monetary.
So you're in favor of reparations? What?
To a level that they have to pay us. And frankly, if they paid us $10 trillion, that wouldn't cover it.
Trillions.
But they really have to pay the world, because this has started in the world. The entire world has been not only disrupted, but it's almost been destroyed. And we're doing well because we built such a great economic foundation. We created the most jobs of any president ever. We had 160 million people working. We were never close. And then we got hit by the pandemic. And like every other country, we had some very tense moments.
And who was the administration in charge of the pandemic response? And why did you guys blow it? Who recorded this? This was like a cell phone recording. Again with the China virus. Now he wants to pay paid because he dragged off his feet and killed thousands. Yeah. Tiny hands.
But we did an incredible job. But because the foundation was so strong, we're back now far better than any other country. They used to say, oh, but look how well India's doing. Well, India's been hit harder than anybody now. But they used to use that as an excuse. They used to use other countries as an excuse about how well they're doing. But now they're doing unbelievably badly.
Wait, hold on. You can't just like, okay. So, yeah, sure, India's like suffering right now. But like, wait, there's a reason why that happened. It was an improper like lack of governmental response. The countries that suffered the most were the countries that did not properly react to this as per the health officials, right? The countries that fared better were the ones who listened to the scientists. I mean, like, that's plain and simple. I don't understand. Like,
we're doing great as a country, especially those areas.
Oh, we're doing great? Hold on, didn't you just like went on a diatribe about how like this country is like completely screwed thanks to the Biden administration? So either we're doing great or we're not. I don't get it.
Particular areas run like Florida, Ron DeSantis, and Texas, Greg Abbott, and other places. If you look at the places run by Republicans, they're doing unbelievable. So we really built it back twice. We built it back the first that we were stronger than ever before. And then we had the pandemic. We did an incredible job. We came up with a vaccine early. We gave shots much earlier than anybody thought possible. 9 months, less than 9 months we did this. It was going to take 4, 5, 6 years. Some people thought it would never happen.
Right.
But we did it.
Oh, Lord,
and we're very proud of it. And honestly, we've saved our country. We've saved the world. What we've done for the world.
Hey guys, we did it. We single-handedly. Oh.
will be written about later on. Maybe not right now because they don't want to give us credit, but it'll be written about. And again, I want to thank everybody that's there. You are incredible, incredible people. The election was rigged. The election was rigged.
Yeah, except for the Dickinson research, but you know.
Surprise 4 years ago, and then we got 12 million more votes. Think of it.
No.
We went from 63 million votes, and we won, to 75 million people, and they say we lost, but we didn't.
No, you lost. And second of all, this was an unprecedented election in terms of turnout. And yeah, you know, sure. Yeah, of course. He holds himself like a scared old man. I wish someone would ask him publicly if he's taken the vaccine. I think they admitted it already, didn't they? Didn't they admit that they already took the vaccine in January? I'm pretty sure they did. Once the cat got out of the bag, they confirmed it. That's how we know, right? I think the cameraman had too much coffee. No, this is just a cell phone recording. Because I couldn't find it anywhere else, but, you know.
Lose 75 million votes. They say that we lost. Now,
yeah, he got vaccinated in January.
I was told by John McLaughlin, who's considered just about the best pollster. I would say the best pollster. There's a few of them out there.
Publicly admitted it.
There are
Yep.
a few of them out there that are great. Sir, you got 63 million. If you can go up to 65, you can't lose the election. Well, you know what happened? We went up to 75, and they say we lost the election.
Because there was an unprecedented voter turnout. Wait. Wait, this calculation was based on, like, the assumption that we would have a normal, election turnout, which is tacitly admitting that we have absolutely very low turnouts, and that's the only reason they're able to win. You see that tacit admission, right? I hope you guys caught that, right? It was based on the assumption that we have normal, incredibly low, like, turnout. So you would only need to boost it about 3 million, and we're good. We clear it. We clear it. If you get like a little extra boost, then we definitely clear it. Look on the bright side of these. He's not talking about Hillary's emails anymore. That's the last one on my mental bingo card. All right, that's my last one on mental bingo.
If you win Miami, if you win Florida, if you take out.
That's what? This is how I know this guy is like this guy is completely divorced from reality. Miami is a well, the city, like the city area is incredibly blue. So I don't know where this delusion is coming from. Like the Miami area is blue. They're like blue the big cities in Miami and the big cities in like the Fort Lauderdale and you know, coast areas are blue. They have always been blue. At least to my recollection, as far as I can tell, when I got into politics, they've always been blue. This is just like a natural thing that happens with cities. Generally speaking, not all of them, but generally speaking, when you have like large metropolitan areas and stuff like that, generally they tend to trend democratic. I mean, like we could pull up the maps. Actually, this isn't like me talking. This isn't like me talking just nonsense. Florida election 2020 map. Yeah. If you win places like Miami. My God. But he also knows his supporters won't think of that, I suppose. Unbelievable. You don't have to take CNN's word for it. You can take Fox News. You can take Fox News' word for it. Broward County, Miami-Dade. Both were Joe Biden, Palm Beach County, all of these like coastal areas and big cities like Orlando, Orange County areas, large city like Jacksonville, Tampa, all of these were blue because that's generally speaking what happens. I don't do you need to lie like that, dude? We all saw the results, both reported by Fox and CNN, so I don't know like what like okay.
And win, and we won by a lot.
Nope, you did not. I mean, you won Florida comfortably, like as a state. That's true.
Florida and Ohio, and then you add Iowa. Nobody's ever won those states and lost.
Because they used to be
virtual landslides.
No, because they used to be very good indicators of who would win the election. Because there was a time where Florida was actually pretty purple. Like Florida was a swing state. Now, I don't know if Florida and all these other like these states that he's listing is a good indicator anymore because they're like firmly red or like firmly. I think yeah, I think they're like more firmly red. Florida has gone red for quite some time now. At this point, I don't know if they can consider Florida like a good bellwether state anymore. Right? It's just kind of expected that in general. That the Republican candidate for the presidential race, generally speaking, will win, right? So, like, I don't know if they're like good bellwether states anymore, as he claimed. I don't know if he's gonna say the word bellwether here, but he's claimed before, like, how could it be possible that if I lost these states, these are bellwether states? These will indicate no. They used to, but I think that that's changed. And it's not anybody's fault but yours if you didn't decide to like take that into account. Right, Florida and Ohio are red states.
And they have us losing. And there are so many. We held every state house. We held Congress. You know, we were supposed to
held
lose
Congress.
25 seats.
What? Wait, you didn't win the majority in Congress. What? Didn't they uncover a bunch of voter suppression in Texas? I'm not sure. But either way. Oh wait, didn't the Attorney General? I don't know if it was voter suppression, but I think it was like, I think it was because they did a certain thing with the mail-in ballots. Then it's quite possible that the state may have turned blue. I forget what exactly the state, what the Attorney General said, but either way, this should only invigorate you. And remember that as part of a functioning democracy, and I know it can be frustrating, given considering the fact that we don't have incentives to really participate. I know that a lot of people, regardless of where they fall, a lot of people don't feel represented by our representatives, ironically enough. Hey, Lawsuit, hold on, folks, quick second. Folks, follow twitch.tv/Lawsuit. You may learn a thing or two, I promise. Send that to me in DMs, Doc. Yeah, something about mail-in ballots being denied. Yeah, something to that effect. I don't forget the I forget the exact quote. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So like, in order for democracy to work, you need to participate. I know it's not the only thing. I know that like it's incredibly important to get involved in like organizing and getting information out there, but you have to participate. You can't cede that tool. Right? You can't see that tool, right? If it's available, use it, participate. Democracy only functions when the people participate. Remember, it must have strong, inclusive institutions, strong, inclusive, and transparent institutions. That's the way it works. If we don't participate, then the democracy doesn't work. Plain and simple.
And we ended up gaining 16 in the House of Representatives. And it wasn't for me. Right now, the Senate would be 60-40 against, because I made teleconference calls.
Wait.
They call them town hall calls.
No.
Speaking to tens of thousands.
No. Okay, so it is true that the Republicans made gains in House, but that was not necessarily you. I think it was more of a failure on the Democratic Party, I would say. a miscalculation, or I guess arrogance, thinking that they were just gonna win. But you lost the Senate. You were the reason. You were telling people in Georgia, or at least your surrogates or your campaign people, were telling everybody, and including in key states that were incredibly important, that mail-in ballots were fraudulent, that don't do the mail-in ballots, don't do this, don't do that. You effectively, in a weird roundabout way, suppress the vote of your own people. That's a you problem, buddy. That's a you problem. You lost the Senate, and you lost the presidency for the Republican Party. That's a you problem. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
Thousands of people for congressional candidates and senators, and we would right now be at 60-40 against instead of 50-50.
Wow, 60-40.
Mitch McConnell, with what he was doing, hurt us very, very badly.
No,
in
you
Georgia.
did.
We lost those 2 seats. We should have never lost those 2 seats, but we did. But we also lost them for other reasons. I'm not sure that no matter what you did, you could have won. They signed a consent decree in Georgia that was so bad, it basically was a decree that said Republicans aren't going to win. They should have never been allowed to sign it. Regardless, again, I want to thank Mike as being a true patriot. I want to thank people like Rudy Giuliani, who is out there fighting, and they're after him, and they want to take him down.
Well, the only thing he's fighting right now are charges in a lawsuit.
They want to take us all down. There's never been a time like this. There's never been.
What is this victim complex?
It's weaponized, and the Republicans were very nice. Our people were very, very nice and very, very respectful.
Howdy, howdy.
And I said this would happen. But Rudy is a great patriot. He was the greatest mayor in the history of New York.
Are Rudy and him back together? I don't know. Oh,
and
wait.
what he's done and what Mike has done. And what
wait, hold on. Darknet brings up a good point. Hold on. Weren't you having a spat? Well, maybe Rudy is sucking up to him now because he knows he's screwed. So I don't know what the deal is. You can never tell with this person.
What so many other people have done, these are incredible heroes, and they're going to go down as heroes someday, and I think it's someday in the not.
They're going to go down, all right. Just not in the way he thinks.
Too distant future. So I look forward to being with you. Mike, congratulations on this unbelievable crowd. That crowd is incredible. I mean, you set that up so quickly, and look at the number of people that showed up, and that'll happen all over the country, because it's all over the country. People want to know what happened, and I want to know what happened, because that was an election that was won by us.
Wait, so this entire thing is about the election? Bro, if you want to know what happened, look at the dozens and dozens and dozens of cases. Look at the audits and the recounts, and then the recounts to the bro. Oh man, you can't make this up. If you don't want to see what happened, that's a you problem. But we already know what happened, all right? It's been solved. This is June, all right? Where are the cyber ninjas?
Easily, it was won easily. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day. Thank you, Mike. Keep it going, Mike. You're a fighter and you're a winner. Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
I love you all.
God bless you, Mr. Trump. Lord Jesus. Lord. Okay, where are we? Alright, I think we should just move into this one. Marco Rubio. Alright, friend. Rubio calls on Biden to forcefully confront Iran over movement of warships. Senator Marco Rubio on Saturday slammed President Biden's response to Iran sending warships to the Atlantic Ocean, suggesting the president needs to forcefully confront the issue. So I think that this is nonsense. Like, we don't need to be saber rattling for absolutely no reason. Like, we have absolutely nothing to do with any of this, okay? It's already bad enough that we're like 20 something years into a endless, pointless war, well, quote-unquote war in the Middle East. We don't need to be focusing on why, like, we do exercises all around the world. Nobody is like allowed to complain when we do it, right? Okay. Rubio shared his comments in a tweet containing photos of Iranian ships and condemning Biden for his quote-unquote desperation. Iran's largest military vessel, which didn't their other largest military vessel catch on fire? Like, I don't understand. And most modern missile destroyer, which I'm sure like most modern means like, oh wow, they got like this other small upgrade. I don't know. Away from delivering missiles and attack boats to the Maduro regime and conducting exercises off our coast. Biden shouldn't allow a desperation to salvage the Iran deal to keep him from confronting this forcefully. On Thursday, Iran announced that it was sending 2 warships into the Atlantic Ocean. The country did not disclose where the warships were headed. There have been reports and speculations that a ship could be headed towards Venezuela and may be even transporting weapons to the country. Rear Admiral Habibullah Saidi told Iranian journalists that the move was a demonstration of the country's power. Oh yeah, your two warships. I mean, no offense, but okay. The Biden administration this week called on Venezuela to turn away the ships if they are in fact heading towards Venezuela. Officials have also reached out to Venezuela's neighboring countries to ensure the ships do not dock. Like, I'm sorry, but like this has nothing to do with us. How am I supposed to have breakfast after that? Sorry. Like, I'm sorry, but this has nothing to do with us. Both ships have reported completed more than half of their journey, traveling thousands of miles northwards towards Cape Town, South Africa. Like, I don't think that, like, unless this is like some like direct, imminent threat to our country, I don't like. What are we doing? Why are we like saber rattling? Right? Just okay. Like, I would understand if it was like a situation where they pose like an imminent and like immediate threat to like the citizens of this country or whatever, but these 2 ships and furthermore, we do like exercises like all the time. We do exercises like freedom, and when we do it like freedom of what is it, freedom of movement or something like that, the FFOI or something like that, freedom of international movement or something. We do these like exercises all the time. Like, why is it a problem when other countries do it? I don't get it. It must be weapons of mass destruction on that ship. True, that's what it is. That's what it is. And like, how do you even know? How do you even know that this is like a thing? And like, to my knowledge, Venezuela is like what, thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away. I'm not sure that the Venezuelan like Maduro regime poses a threat to the United States. I mean, okay. Nice meme. Alright, so, we went over, a while ago, we went over, a story where, like, a bunch of healthcare workers, hospital workers, were big mad that they had to take the vaccine in order for them to continue to be working. And they attempted to throw, like, a legal challenge to it. Well, here's the update. Here's the update to that story. A judge has thrown out a lawsuit brought by hospital workers over a vaccine mandate. A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit brought by 117 employees at Houston Methodist Hospital who were suing the hospital system over its COVID-19 vaccine. Imagine like being like a healthcare like worker, or even if you're not like a nurse or a doctor, like you must understand like the importance of like vaccines and like public health, right? Like that's why you're there. Okay. I came in late today. No, but we'll go over that. I think you posted a video on that. Hold on, we'll go. That's right. Maybe I let me go back to that in a second. Who was suing the hospital over its COVID-19 vaccine requirement. The 5-page ruling issued Saturday Thanks for the follow, Super Clyder. Upheld the hospital's vaccine policy, saying the requirement broke no federal law. Yeah, of course. This is not coercion. Methodist is trying to do their business of saving lives without giving them the COVID-19 virus. It is a choice made to keep staff, patients, and families safer. Yeah, exactly. This is a public health thing. Okay? And if you don't like it, go work somewhere else. The decision marked the latest development in a standoff that began in April when Houston Methodist announced that all staff would be required to be vaccinated against COVID by June 7th. The hospital says that nearly all of its roughly 26,000 employees agreed to the policy, but suspended nearly 200 staff members without pay for refusing to comply. The 178 employees suspended by the hospital argued that vaccines are unsafe and even experimental, which is, again, till this day, that's just been not the case, okay? The hospital has responded by saying hundreds of millions of vaccine doses have been safely administered after a vetting process that included three rounds of clinical trials. I mean, Ron Paul is a physician. True. Well, he's an ophthalmologist, so like he has absolutely no idea of like how vaccines how like infectious diseases like necessary. He's not an expert on infectious disease. This is like bringing Bill Nye to discuss climate change, right? Like this is like bringing Bill Nye to discuss climate change. But yeah, I suppose this guy's on another level because he's like actively denying reality. Wait. I thought I had logged in. Yeah, I tried to open up your message, Doc, but it's not working. Great, now I don't remember. Hey, Elio. Bill Nye might know something about climate change. Ron Paul is an eye doctor. Not a very good one either. How come it's not showing me? Yeah, it's not showing me the thing. Sorry, Doc. Yeah, like, well, the thing is, like, Bill Nye is like a engineer. Bill Nye is an engineer. That's true. All professions is not equal with good and true performance and duties. True. That's true. I'll give you that. That's true. The judge compared the challenge to a press release. His ruling, Judge Hughes called the plaintiff's claim that currently available COVID vaccines are experimental and dangerous, an argument that is both false and irrelevant. Texas law only protects employees from being terminated for refusing to commit an act carrying criminal penalties to the worker. Hughes wrote, adding to that the press release style of the complaint fails to specify what illegal acts the plaintiffs were alleged to have been asked to perform. Receiving COVID vaccinations is not an illegal act and it carries no criminal penalties. The judge also denounced the plaintiffs for equating the vaccine mandate to forced experimentation by the Nazis against Jewish people during the Holocaust. Equating the injection requirement to medical experimentation in concentration camps is reprehensible. True. Nazi doctors conducted medical experiments on victims that caused pain, mutilation, permanent disability, and in many cases that's true. Houston Methodist has been among the first hospital in the nation. Did they actually try to use that as an argument? Holy crap. Like, I understand that, like, Representative Green came out and said, like, well, actually, having these COVID matter makes it, like, equals having to make sure you have a, having the COVID, vaccination card equals Jewish Star of David. I know that that's, you know, rhetoric that comes from that end of the spectrum. Houston Methodist has been among the first hospitals in the nation to require staff to be inoculated against the coronavirus, and judge's decision marked an early test about challenges to similar bans may hold up in the courts. Jared Woodfield, the lawyer representative plaintiffs, told NPR they're not done fighting this unjust policy. In a written statement, he said his clients are committed to appealing the decision. Okay. Los Angeles Fire Police Commissioner who assaulted his partner, so yikes. What is shocking is so many of my clients were on the front line treating COVID patients at Texas Methodist Hospital during the height of the pandemic. As a result, many of them contracted COVID-19. As a thank you for their service and sacrifice, Methodist Hospital awards them with a pink slip and sentences them to bankruptcy. Wait, no. The point is that, I mean, whoever is saying this, this lawyer, which clearly doesn't understand how, like, this works, okay, so, first of all, natural immunity only lasts so long, and it's against that specific variant of COVID, right? The reason why we take the vaccine is because it has shown very good results against, so far, all the variants, it has shown a very good result against them, okay? That's why we take the vaccine, and furthermore, there are studies to show that the immunity that you get from the vaccine is significantly, you know, stronger and lasts. So it's different. I posted a clip in Discord where the nurse says it's like the Nuremberg trials. She argues that the Nuremberg trials were a series of experiences. Jesus Christ. Oh no. And this is a nurse? Oh boy. Houston Methodist welcomed the decision, writing in a statement, said that it's pleased and reassured that after U.S. District Judge Lynn Hughes today dismissed a frivolous lawsuit filed by some employees who had fought our COVID vaccine mandate. Yeah, if you don't like it, just work somewhere else, dude. Or, I mean, we live in a society, okay? We live in a society, so if you don't want to wear masks, if you don't want to get vaccinated, then sorry, you can't participate in certain aspects of society. It's just the way it is. Like, you can't go on cruise ships, you can't, you know, go on airplanes, you can't take your kids to school because it's a required thing to have certain vaccinations. And this is just how it works, right? This was on CNN and Fox. Jesus. Show me. Ah. Ooh. Thunder.
Cost was, but at the beginning, the way they did make people have trials and injections, medication.
Hello.
Well, this is pretty much what they're doing right now. They're forcing people to take a shot when they don't want to, and they're not giving the proper information.
Wait, forcing. So there's like what, like government agents busting down your door, holding you down as you cry, as you cry for freedom, and then as the boot steps on you, the shot goes in your arm, and that's it. It's over. You have now been injected with the 5G. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, you're just not. Yeah, exactly. Like you just don't work there. Go work somewhere else where they, for some weird reason, will accept you.
Consent. Like nobody is being told the risk factors before getting this injection.
We know the risk factors. In fact, when I got my first dose, they told us. Well, they told me that the second shot that the second shot may produce X, Y, and Z, maybe a little bit heavier. So just be aware. They even told us to wait 15 minutes just because of, just to make sure that we're okay. Like, you know, I mean, they tell you absolutely the possibilities of what could happen. I don't understand.
Okay, so I just want to be clear though. I mean, you do realize that there is no comparison here to the Holocaust, right?
Yeah, please stop trying to like stop trying to like make this like emotional argument, like using like a shocking, like trying to create like a shock factor. Like this is just exactly like that. Like no, it's not. Stop it. That's kind of weird, dude. That's kind of weird. Where are you getting this from? The chip stings, it stings a bit going in, but once in, you don't even notice.
Experiments on people, and some died, some, I mean, it was painful, it was awful. How could you even compare it to that?
I didn't compare it to the Holocaust, but I did compare it to the beginnings of it, which is the Nuremberg trials. We're not going to say this is nearly as big as the Holocaust was, but at the beginning, the way they did make people...
Yeah, this is silly. This is nonsense. Why is this on any mainstream news is beyond me. Like, why are we even entertaining this? This is just like someone who got big mad that they were let go because they didn't want to follow like basic public health protocol. I mean, this isn't right. Exactly. So yeah, just work somewhere else, dude, or don't, and stay home. And I guess don't participate in society. That's you. You have a personal choice to make, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. I think you get the 5G, like the full-on 5G when you get your second shot. I don't know if the reception gets any different depending on the brand of the vaccine. So I don't know. CNN was like, all right, our ratings are slipping. Let's bring on some wackos. Maybe. Okay. Let's do this one. I actually didn't get to read all of this, but maybe we'll get something good. Maybe we'll get something good out of this article. We do live in a society, and if you want to participate, you gotta play ball, all right? You gotta play ball. You need your vaccines. There's a reason why public health is important. There's a reason why people like have the structures that they do. First vaccine, so I still have to wait a good month, but at least I'll become magnetic. True. Oh wait, hold on. Before we, where's that video of the magnetic people? I think you posted it. Oh yes. Ooh.
Anti-vaxxer testified in the Ohio State House to raise her concerns about an alleged side effect of the coronavirus vaccine that you may not know about. Watch.
What is it that's actually being transmitted that's causing all of these things? Is it a combination of the protein, which now we're finding has a metal attached to it? I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over the internet of people who've had these shots and now they're magnetized.
Wait, no,
they put a key on their forehead, it sticks. They can put spoons and forks all over them and they can stick. Because now we think that there's a metal piece to that.
That was Sherry Tenpenny. She's an osteopath and she believes genuinely that taking the coronavirus vaccine magnetizes you. And there was another.
The reason why this game became popular, unfortunately, is because of people in TikTok videos. That's the reason why. There's no evidence to suggest that any vaccine has ever made anybody magnetic. Like, what do you? Does that even like make sense? Just like on a level of like common sense. Like on a level of common sense, does that even like, how does it even work? You know, they give them a number. Yeah, exactly. Jesus, Jai. The amazing Rand debunked magnetic people many years ago using talc powder.
Person who actually stood up and testified the same thing, and in fact wanted to demonstrate how accurate this conspiracy theory really is. Let's take a look at that.
Show us.
We were talking about Dr. Tenpenny's testimony about magnetic vaccine crystals. So this is what I found out. So I have a key and a bobby pin here. Explain to me why the key sticks to me. It sticks to my neck too. I got this. Yeah, so if somebody can explain this.
Awkward. Look at the people. Look at this guy. He's like so intrigued. And look at the woman in the back. How do magnets work, Alex?
That would be great.
Listen, obviously we're going to have the substantive discussion about this in just a moment, but my favorite part of that video, substantive discussion. Look, it was a part of a TikTok meme, so this is part of a TikTok meme. It's not real. Anyways, nice meme. Okay, so this is a opinion piece, all right? So I think maybe we can kind of like extrapolate some good stuff from this. I don't know. Let's take a look. I'm not going to pretend that I know how to interpret the jobs and inflation data of the past few months. My view is still that this is an economy warped by the pandemic, and that the dynamics are so strange and unstable that it will be some time before we know its true state. But the reaction to early numbers and anecdotes has revealed something deeper and more constant in our politics. The American economy runs on poverty, or at least the constant threat of it. Americans like their goods cheap, their services plentiful, and the two of them together require a sprawling labor force willing to work tough jobs at crummy wages. To a degree, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. On the right, the barest glimmer of worker power is treated as a policy emergency at the whip of poverty, not the lure of higher wages as the appropriate response. Right. Okay. Reports that low-wage employers are having trouble filling open jobs sent Republican policymakers to a tizzy and led at least 25 Republican governors and one Democratic governor to announce plans to cut off expanded unemployment benefits early. Chipotle said that it would increase its prices by 4% to cover the cost of higher wages, prompting the National Republican Congressional Committee to issue a blistering response. Democrats' socialist stimulus bill. Wait. No, I don't think you know what that word means. Anyways. Constant labor shortage, and now burrito lovers everywhere are footing the bill. Wait. One company? Hold on. One company is not representative of the, of the market. Wait, why are you, pointing out this one particular company? There have been plenty of others who have raised wages, who have not necessarily necessitated to A, increase prices, and B, are the ones that are recording more profits. What are you talking about? The Trumpist outlet, The Federalist. Well, The Federalist isn't a Trumpist outlet. The Federalist is a right-wing outlet that's been around way before Trump. Restaurants had to bribe current and prospective workers with fatter paychecks to lure them off their backside and back to work. Yeah. That's kind of how you do it, right? If unemployment, which by the way isn't like a massive amount of money anyways, it barely keeps people afloat. In some cases it's not enough, but it barely keeps people afloat. If unemployment, if you're paying people less, if it's better for them to stay on unemployment for a little bit longer because it's not permanent. Remember, guys, it's not permanent. It's gonna eventually, run out. But if you're paying your workers to the point where unemployment is actually better for them, that's a you problem. That's a you not paying proper wages problem. But it's just not right. The financial press, the cable news, squawkers, and many others center left greet news of labor shortages and price increases with alarm, rarely bring
rarely bring to the ongoing agonies of poverty or low-wage toil. Yet, not only that, I completely disagree with the premise that like the reason why we're experiencing this is just because of the pandemic. I have a feeling, and I see that more people are kind of like moving in that direction. I have a feeling that this has been kind of already, that like, this has already been like moving in that direction anyways. What the pandemic did, and I've said this before, was kind of yeeted it off the cliff, right? That's what it did. That's right. As it happened just as I was watching Republican governors try to immiserate low-wage workers who weren't yet jumping at the chance to return to the poorly ventilated kitchens for $9 an hour. I was sent a guaranteed income for first 20th century, a plan that seeks to make poverty a thing of the past. A proposal developed by Naomi Zewde, Kyle Strickland, Kelly Capitasto, Ari Glagor, and Derek Hamilton of the New Schools Institute on Race and Political Economy, and would guarantee $12,500 annual income for every adult and a $4,500 allowance for every child. So, in other words, the TLDR is that their prescription to this is UBI. That's what their prescription is. Their prescription is UBI, which it is what Wong's called a negative income tax plan, like a universal basic income. Unlike a universal basic income, it phases out as households rise into the middle class. Okay, so it is kind of like a UBI. Alright, so it's kind of like a UBI. I don't know. Can this be a way? Maybe. Can this be a way forward? Maybe. I don't know. You have reviews and unemployment tax. True. It's just basic income if it's phased out. Yeah, so like, I mean, like, this would be the equivalent. You could also make this, you could also produce similar results if you just raise the wages too, to living wages. I think you could also just kind of like, address like the tax credit for children, and just raise wages to living wages, and I think that would kind of do the same effect. I don't know the difference of what it would domino down the line, but I don't know. I mean, it could work if everybody would be guaranteed. If you're if you're below X threshold, and you're guaranteed $12,500. That's on top of whatever you make. Then, I mean, it could work. I don't know. I'm just skeptical about how how it's deployed, but I mean, it could work. It could work. Maybe as a temporary stopgap, where we say, okay, for the next for the next 5 years, this is what we're gonna do as we simultaneously phase it out. The basic income, as we phase it out, as wages start catching up to living standards, as we raise. I don't know. Maybe that's too complicated. Maybe that's not going to work the way I think it is in my head. I don't know. Maybe just literally just doing this might work. I don't know. With poverty, to address it, you just eliminate it. You give people enough resources so they're not poor. Simple but not cheap. The team estimates that its proposal would cost $876 billion annually. To give a sense of scale, total federal spending was 4.1 in 2019 was 4.4 trillion, with 1 trillion of that financing Social Security payments and another 1.1 trillion supporting Medicaid, Medicare, Affordable Care Act, and the Children's Health Insurance Program. So, I mean, what's another trillion, I guess? But like, the argument then would be, wouldn't it be cheaper? Like, if you're just advocating for just giving people these resources, at that point, like, wouldn't it just be cheaper? I mean, I don't know. Someone maybe be able to answer this, but wouldn't it be just cheaper to make sure people have food, housing, education, and healthcare? Just make that a thing instead of going like this in this roundabout way where you have to I don't know. Wouldn't that be just the way to go at that point? If you just want to eliminate it, just do it. Make sure people have food, housing, education, and healthcare. I mean, I guess this is like trying to guarantee people these things, but in like with extra steps, maybe. I don't know. Howdy, howdy, the Benjamin Dixon Show, rating with a party of 30. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Good morning from Like It or Not. Hey, howdy, howdy, howdy. If you guys have never seen this before, we are Difficult Truth. We do news and politics in the AM, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And generally speaking, we do news and politics, and on Saturdays, we do Saturday Catterday, where there's a guaranteed kitty cat on stream about noon. So come hang out with us. Come hang out with us Saturday Catterdays with the co-host. Come join us for the chillest place to be for the daily news in the mornings. So make sure you hit that follow if you like the content, and do the YouTubes. The team estimates that his proposal would cost 876. Yeah, so like, couldn't we just... Hey, thanks for the follow, Ophian. I don't know, could we just use this 876 billion to just make sure that people have these things? Or would this be sufficient enough to just kind of like make that happen, right? Because like in my mind, I think that the best way to begin to kind of like raise the floor, or like, you know, as I'm sure most of us agree, there's a incredible gap in terms of like income inequality. It's just like the triangle like is just so pointed like this, to the point where it's like at this stage in time it's completely unsustainable. So we need to flatten that out, right? So if we give people 12,500, would that necessarily equal or solve these issues in terms of like what I believe to be the 4 pillars of how you try to improve society, at least in this country, by making sure people have food, housing, education, and healthcare? Would that like make it a thing? I don't know, because if so, then I would be in favor of this. It's like the other option would be to just do it, just make sure people have these things. I don't know. Beyond writing that the plan would require new sources of revenue, additional borrowing, or trade-offs with the government and funding priorities, Hamilton said his co-authors don't say how they would pay for it, and in our conversation, Hamilton was cagey. There are many ways in which it can be paid for, and deficit spending itself is not bad unless there are certain conditions. Well, it depends what you spent it on, but sure. He said, I'm less blasé about financing a program that would increase federal spending by almost 20%, but at the same time, it's clearly possible. Even if this entire thing, even if this entire thing was funded by taxes, it would only bring America's tax burden roughly to the average of our peer nations. What does that mean? Like, I guess it depends on who is being taxed. A jobs guarantee would probably be better. Yeah, so that's why I'm asking, like, would this exactly give the results that we want? I don't know. I'm not gonna knock the possibility of this being a good option, but I don't know. I think it would be cheaper to just do these things, right? To just make sure people have food, housing, education, and healthcare. I suspect the real political problem for a guaranteed income isn't the cost, but the benefits. Wait, what? A policy like this would give workers the power to make real choices. They could say no to a job when they could say no to a job they didn't want, or quit one that exploited them. They could and would demand better wages, or take time off to attend school, or simply rest. Yeah, but so would making sure that, you know, your healthcare, so would making sure that you have guaranteed education, or at least access to like trade schools or college. I mean, like, so would this. Would that not be true? I must look for a while and get out of this chair before I snap. Great topic. Thanks for the content. Hey, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, I mean, I agree that we should do policies that would empower workers to make real choices and to provide people with more essentially with more freedoms effectively by giving them the ability to make choices, right? If you don't like your job but you have to stay there because of healthcare, otherwise you'd be out in the you'd be screwed, then yeah, I mean, but wouldn't that be solved if you just kind of guaranteed people to make sure that they had these things, make sure that they had healthcare, so that they wouldn't be stuck to a job necessarily that they may or may not want to move from, but the healthcare plan is good and it's cheap and it's through the employer, so they really have to kind of stay there, or else they would be forced into looking into the health marketplace, which is sometimes more expensive, and it's just like it's a disaster at the ACA. Hey Peppa Silva, thank you for the follow. I think that also providing healthcare as a general norm would also alleviate costs for employers, which could be a avenue for asking for better wages. I mean, yeah, education, making sure that making sure that people have access to education, whether it be college or trade school or something like that, wouldn't that give you a choice that if you didn't want to work the job that you did, you wouldn't be like mirrored in like tens of thousands of student debt? You would just be like, all right, I guess I'm gonna learn to be like a welder, or I'm gonna go into college and like do this. Yeah, I don't know. I think that just doing this would be better than guaranteeing $12,500 a year. I don't know, because that still doesn't eliminate, like, how are you supposed to pay for an education that's like twice that a year? Like, wait, like education at a yearly basis can be twice this. I don't know. It depends, I suppose. UBI isn't meant to replace wages. No, it's not. It's a supplement, yeah. Or take time off to attend school, simply rest. When spoke, Hamilton tried to sell it to me as a truer form of capitalism. People can't reap the returns of their effort without some baseline level of resources. I mean, yeah. Decommodify these things are always in the greater threat, is the greater threat to the system. But like, not even. I mean, like, these things can happen right now, and they wouldn't even necessarily be like that necessarily like radical. I mean, like, having a universal healthcare system isn't really like rattling the system necessarily, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be necessarily a great threat to this. Like, that's why I don't understand. Like, where is this like mentality coming from? Like, if people get like a universal type of healthcare system, all of a sudden, like, I don't know. It doesn't mean like that it even should be a threat to the system. If anything, maybe it might even improve it. If you really want to take it down that route. At $12,000 a year would be huge. It would make sure you had basic amenities if you wanted to switch jobs or take time off. Yeah, I think that there could. I'm trying to debate in my head whether or not like just making these things like available, just making these things happen, as a thing would be cheaper and more effective, or would actually giving this $12,500 a year would achieve these things, right? Would make sure that people have housing, would be stable enough to have these things, housing, be able to afford education, be able to, have health. Like, I think that, like, I don't know, it just depends. It just depends, because I don't want to just say, here's $12,500 a year, but like, the core problems aren't solved. Why didn't CEOs in Congress take a pay cut during the pandemic? Excellent question. Why didn't they? Why not both? I don't know. I guess in some cases it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could just be, we could do like universal healthcare system, but I don't know. If you lack basic necessities with regards to economic well-being, you have no agency. You're dictated by others. You're dictated to by others, or live in a miserable state. Yeah, I mean, like, also, if you want to, like, really get people involved in terms of, like, reaping the return of their effort, if you want to incentivize people reaping the return of their effort, you're talking about, like, worker co-ops. That's what you're talking about. But those in the economy with the power to do the dictating profit from desperation of low-wage workers, to a degree, that's true. One man's misery is another man's quick and affordable at-home lunch delivery. True. I mean, yeah. The fact that when we pay workers less and don't have social insurance programs that, say, cover Uber and Lyft drivers, we're able to consume goods and services at lower prices. I mean, yeah, that's... yeah. Unions, yeah. Unionization is also a good way. This conversation is about poverty. This is a conversation about poverty that we don't like to have. We discuss the poor as a pity or a blight, but we rarely admit that America's high poverty rate is a policy choice, and there are reasons why we choose it over and over again. We typically frame those as reasons, as questions of fairness. Why should I have to pay for someone else's laziness? That also never makes sense. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean, paying for somebody else's, like, laziness, right? A lot of people who are on, like, social programs, like welfare and stuff like that, they work. They're on those programs because they're paid like crap. It's definitely more efficient to just removing housing, medicine, but once you begin to remove these things, it allows the workers to realize that it is very much possible. Yeah, I guess, but even then, like, I don't know, that's like, maybe, but that doesn't guarantee anything. It just guarantees that we have healthcare, right? For example, it guarantees that we have healthcare. I mean, like, it doesn't mean that, like, it doesn't even mean that the system necessarily is going to get rocked either. We've seen that in other like Nordic models, but it's still the right thing to do, right? It's still the most efficient and just the right thing to do to guarantee people. Like, again, just an example. Again, healthcare. Why should I have to pay for someone else's laziness? First of all, you're not paying for somebody else's laziness. A lot of people who are on welfare or have like food stamps or something like that, they work. They work. And second of all, if you're talking about like not trying to help people, quote unquote, inadvertently it's all going to come back and you have to pay for it, and you're going to end up paying for it in one way or another anyways. Just fix the problem. It's cheaper. Jesus Christ. Or tough-minded paternalism. Work is good for people, and if they can live on the dole, they would. What? Yikes. This is true, of course, that some might use a guaranteed income to play video games or melt into Netflix. Wait. Does anybody... Wait. I don't get it. Does that mean, like, people all of a sudden, like, becoming, like, closer to middle class would just mean that they just, like, fade away into, like, laziness? I don't know if that's necessarily true. Anyways, or melt into Netflix. But why are they center of this conversation? We all know full well that America is full of hardworking people who are kept poor by low wages and harsh circumstance. Yeah, this is true. We know many who want a job and can't find one, and many of these people can find are cruel in ways that would appall anyone sitting comfortably behind a desk. I know. Look at the way Amazon treats its workers. We know that an absence of childcare and affordable housing and decent public transport makes work, to say nothing of advancement, impossible for many. We know people lose jobs they value because of mental illness or physical disability and other factors beyond their control. We're not so naive to believe near poverty and joblessness to be a comfortable condition or an attractive choice. True. Most Americans don't think themselves as benefiting from poverty of others, and I don't think objections to a guaranteed income would manifest as arguments in favor of impoverishment. Instead, we would see much of what we're seeing now, only magnified. Fears of inflation, lectures about how the government is subsidizing indolence, peons to the character-building qualities of low-wage labor that worries the economy will be strangled by taxes or deficit, anger that Uber, Lyft riders, rides that have gotten more expensive, but like that doesn't even like necessarily mean it's backbreaking, right? Like if your Uber ride costs like $2 more, but these folks are getting like a living wage, I think that would become like worth it, because at the end of the day, the people who have Uber or Lyft already have the means to pay for it. Yeah, this article is also assuming many behaviors. Life isn't cheap either. Prices are going up now. That's true. That's true. I think that this is his response to that, though. Like, I think he's taking that into consideration and saying that, wait a minute, we're seeing like this inflation and we're seeing prices go up. We're seeing like, can we talk about like poverty and how this is like affecting us? So yeah, in my opinion, the argument is a combination of lack of imagination and projection. It is what they imagined they would do, or in some cases, they imagine if that everyone had the same lack of integrity as themselves, the world would end. Yeah. Nor would these costs be merely imagined. Inflation would be a real risk, as prices often raise when wages rise. No, not always. And if they do, they'd be like a small percentage. Since they gave the stimulus check to everything in price, everything has gone up in price. It's not related to the stimulus checks, buddy. It's not related to the stimulus checks, guaranteed. Inflation would be a real risk since prices often rise when wage rises. That's also not necessarily true, right? It's not necessarily true. You can increase wages without necessarily increasing your prices, right? We've seen this happen time and time again, because how is it possible that this conversation is never had when you give CEOs boost millions and millions and millions of dollars in bonuses, but their prices don't increase? And furthermore, how come prices of, I don't know, goods or whatever continue to rise even before the pandemic, have continued to rise, and companies arbitrarily raise the prices of their goods without raising the prices of their wages anyways, regardless of that? So I don't know if that's necessarily true. Then what is it related to then? Is this like a real question, or do you not know like how this works? The consensus right now is that a lot of these like just-in-time supply chains are barely beginning to catch up, and the current narrative is that once these just-in-time supply chains have all caught up with all of this nonsense, it will start to ease inflation. However, there has been different narratives saying that this inflation is actually here to stay. It is a product that's been in the works for decades at this point, or years, I should say, not decades, years at this point. All coronavirus has done is just exacerbate it and yeet it off the cliff, right? So it's not necessarily related to a couple of stimulus checks. Thanks for the follow, Pirate Ninja and Damesh. I appreciate that. The jobs guarantee is guaranteed income that would anchor wages and prices at the same time, coupling it with universal healthcare and higher education. A huge burden would be lifted off the working class. Hey, now that is a policy I might be able to get behind of. Absolutely. Yeah, this was the entire premise or idea. The entire premise of the Green New Deal is this, right? You provide a federal jobs guaranteed and build the infrastructure that creates jobs, that creates revenue, economic movement, and it also provides the avenue to provide green and energy, allegedly, this is what the idea was, to provide green and renewable infrastructure. I gotta go, but I'll be back. I like your perspective. Thank you, I appreciate that. Corona caused the checks, so they're related. No, that's not how that works. No. So the idea that like inflation was caused directly by like that's kind of a stretch in logic, don't you think? That's kind of a stretch in logic, right? To think like coronavirus caused the checks, therefore the checks caused inflation. That's not really it, because corps have a stimulus check. That doesn't mean anything. Corporations have been raising prices even beforehand without raising wages. I don't understand what the relationship is. They would raise prices regardless, and they have. I don't understand. And small businesses would shutter if they had to pay their workers more. Some, yeah, that some is doing a lot of, oh boy, that some is doing a lot of work there. That some is doing a lot of work. Not as much now, Are you sure? Anyways. These services many of us enjoy that would become rarer, costlier if workers had more bargaining power. No. Again, not necessarily. We'd see more investments in automation and possibly in outsourcing. Oh, wait, is this for real? Or is this just presenting an alternative view? No, this guy unironically writes these. We'd see more investment in automation and possibly in outsourcing. That is already happening. Wait, that's already happening regardless of the wage increase or decrease or whatnot. Wait, if workers had more bargaining power, that does not necessarily equal investments in automation and outsourcing. That's already happening. I'm just a real person. Nobody's attacking you. We're attacking the idea that you think that stimulus checks cause inflation. That's just not how that works. There's so much more. There's so much more to that than just, oh, people got a couple of stimulus checks, therefore, wait. New Wrangler, just wait till these shills jobs get automated. True. I can't wait till my job gets automated. Maybe if like AI gets so advanced that what you will see in the future in a couple of years is just like a difficult truth would just be kind of like, it would be kind of like a VTuber. It would be like VTuber vibes, but it would be like VTuber vibes. And it would be completely AI based on all the stuff that I've said in the past. All of it would be entered into an AI. All would be all of my past statements would be entered into an AI algorithm, and then, I mean, that set is AI generated, confirmed, confirmed. And what you would see would not be me, but it would be like a VTuber version of me, and it would just run automatically. I'd like to see some evidence that the stimulus price hikes is even real. Sounds like, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like Gaffado, the leap in logic that says coronavirus caused stimulus checks, therefore inflation, I think that's a bit of a leap. It was one of those few bipartisan things. They were only fighting on who to give the stimulus checks, not if they should give them. Yeah, that's true. And they also negotiated down the amount as well. I'm saying since the stimulus, I have seen groceries. Okay, but that's not related. Okay, you're saying like since the stimulus, I've only seen prices go higher. That's not me. That's not the same thing as saying. So just so you know, that's not, and I'm not like racking on you. I'm just saying, you seeing 5% higher prices after the stimulus check, causation versus correlation, yes, does not mean that that's why it was caused. Right? So what you're seeing is absolutely correct. Grocery prices are higher, yes, true. True, but that doesn't equal automatically. It doesn't equal the cause of the stimulus check or the stimulus, whatever. Yeah, so I don't know. Twitch subs would be $15 if prices were going up from the stimmy. True. Trump gave $5 trillion to Wall Street, but blame it on the stimulus check. True. Stimulus grew the economy, not the inflation rates. Thank you, Great Equalizer. Anyways, so like the point is, I think you're not understanding the causation of it. What are competing factors? Wait, what competing factors? Wait, what does that mean? Prices also go up because of scarcity. Sure. Food prices are connected to energy prices. True. Hold on, we got a bunch of dabs here. Hold on. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did we get all 10? Oh, we got all 10. Alright. Folks, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. 1. Wait, let me do proper dabs, okay? Let's do it properly, alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. A good one there. Oh, Sam Cedar's dabs are like boomer dabs. All right, I think like the last time I saw the GIF image of him, like Sam Cedar does boomer dabs. All right. Howdy, howdy. I forgot to put my lunch away. My lunch is yogurt. Oof. Oh no. Were those dab weeks? Yes, but in caps. Oh, oops. Hey. Alright, so, really quickly, folks, if you haven't already, make sure you follow all these wonderful folks in chat. There's Surfer Go Gritty, Eat420_, Alio Share, and the Benjamin Dixon Show. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you guys. Wonderful creators. I possibly think a little bit harder than even consider political effort to make you think that $15 minimum wage is bad. Inflation was a whole separate issue. The inflation is partly due to shutdowns and companies trying to recoup lost profits. With that being said, these price hikes are temporary. We just don't know how long though. Do you think so? I've heard like the accepted like consensus is that yes, it will pass, but I keep seeing like people, a lot of economists continue to raise the alarm, saying, "Wait a minute, this isn't going to pass," and the Fed needs to be very careful as to how they handle it, as well as the government. Do you think that maybe that might be a possibility, Great Equalizer? I mean, like I've also talked to, you know, my girlfriend as well, who like also shares concerns about like maybe it's not going to just pass. Maybe, you know, and I've heard lots of concerns about like this smells like 2008. This smells like 2008 vibes. Value of the dollar is tied in how much is in circulation, how much are dollars being traded by foreign countries. Yes. I guess what they were trying to say is like because things are increased, meaning the dollar's less value. Right. I think that's what that means. I'm with you on that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting some like the consensus. Remember, and we've seen this playbook before, right? Where everybody thinks it's going good. It's just temporary. It's all good. And then it's not. I don't know. Ooh. Kind of sends chills to think about it. We do need to be very careful in how we handle the economy right now. The bottom could fall out like 2008. We aren't sure until the government finds a way to combat it. Yeah, so, okay, so, alright, so, okay, so it seems to me like it depends on how the Fed and how the government, navigates this. But I don't exactly trust the very competent government we have to navigate this properly. The CNN is running an opinion article that Biden will be blocked by Putin and Congress. No. I don't know who's running that opinion article. But that's not how that works. Believe it or not, Vladimir Putin does not have the ability to single-handedly block Biden. Although, I would say, the Republican Party and certain Democratic, pseudo-presidents, I would turn your attention to President Joe Manchin and Madam President Kyrsten Sinema, do have the ability to block Biden. Okay, so yeah, I think we're maybe moving in the same direction, Great Equalizer. So I think there's truth to this. And on CNN, well, I mean, CNN, is not immune from publishing nonsense too. What? It is an opinion piece. The truth of our politics lies in the risk we refuse to accept, and its rising worker power, not continued poverty, is that we treat as intolerable. You can see it happening right now, driven by policies far smaller and with effects far more modest than a guaranteed income. Yeah, so if you want to increase like worker power, how about, first of all, how about you move in the direction of raising wages? And if you want to increase worker power, then incentivize unionization. There you go. Her Majesty. Incentivize unionization and raise wages. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Hamilton, to his credit, was honest about these trade-offs. Progressives don't like to talk about this. They want this kumbaya moment. Maybe. Sometimes I understand that it could be seen like this, but not really. Corps won't do that. I live in Georgia. No way they'll allow a union. Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? It's kind of a problem. They want to say equity is great for everyone. When it's not, we need to shift our values. The capitalist class stands to lose from this policy. That's unambiguous. They will have better resource workers that they can't exploit their wages. Their consumer products will be more expensive. Again, where is this coming from? Their products and services have risen in the past, regardless of pandemic or not, regardless of wage increase or not. And furthermore, how does that justify raising wages or raising CEO bonuses without raising prices? How do they pay for that? This is why we have a right to work. Yeah, it's horrible. Right to work states are horrible. I live in Georgia and I have a union. It's not that hard. I mean, unionization in a state that doesn't doesn't allow it or allows or looks the other way with retaliation, I guess it can be hard. It depends also on the company, to be quite honest. I shouldn't say that. It really depends on the company, to be quite honest, Pepe. I think Australia only accepts gold doublons for Big Macs. And blast any job or corp that tries to be anti-union. Yep, I think corporations are a little biased when it comes to the existence of unions. Maybe that should be up to everybody. True. Oh, the transportation industry, gotcha. It just depends. I think that it is incredibly difficult to have a conversation about unionization. I mean, like, I've told this story like a thousand times. I mentioned the word unions, and I get like, I mentioned once the word union. And I got one of these. I'll show you guys in chat. And I got one of these, you know? That's pretty interesting because like the original rednecks were unionizations. You work for MARTA? I don't know what MARTA means. They did make vaping a required prescription from doctor every year. Alright, folks. We got to, the most part, America... Oh, or City Bus Company? No, I don't work for them. Gotcha. Oh, okay, I'm completely lost. Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. Talks amongst yourselves. For the most part, America finds the money to pay for things it values. In recent decades, despite deep gridlock in Washington, we have spent trillions of dollars in the wars. Yeah, hey, wow, amazing. This part is incredibly important, I think. This is it right here. This is it. This is it right here. I mean, we don't need to go any further. This is it right here. Right here. For the most part, America finds the money to pay for things it values. In recent decades, despite deep gridlock in Washington, we have spent trillions for wars in the Middle East, tax cuts for the wealthy, trillions of dollars of health insurance subsidies, and coronavirus relief. It is in our power to wipe out poverty. It simply isn't among our priorities, which is what I've talked about before. It's imperative that we reorganize our priorities and do what's right for the people across the board, right? That's it. I mean, we don't. That's the rub right here. That's it. That's it. Ultimately, it's about us as a society saying these privileges and luxuries and comforts that folks in the middle class, or however we describe these economic classes, have, how much they are worth to us. That's right. Jamila Mishner, co-director of Cornell Center for Health Equity, told me, and they are worth certain levels of deprivation or suffering, or even just inequality among people who are living often very different lives from us. That's a question we don't often ask ourselves, but we should. Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna shed a tear if Jeff Bezos all of a sudden doesn't have $100 billion, but only has like $50 billion, right? Like, wait, wait. There has to be motivation for the power to be to do these things, not just out of the goodness. Yeah, if we can't rely on like charity, that's horrible. I agree. It must be with policy. I mean, that's how we did it in the New Deal. That's how we did it. All right, so this I'm kind of not interested in this anymore. I'll post this link in chat. You can also see it in the Discord. The TLDR is like this was an attempt to show just how like the Republican Party has become the party of Trump. Because I really need to get through these articles. So TLDR, holy Christ, did you all hear that? Jeez, that scared me. That was thunder, yeah, that scared me. All right, I need to get ahead of this because like I can only imagine what you know, like how this is going to look everywhere. And I think I heard it all the way in Texas. This is bad. This is not good. A research article in Medical Journal describes whiteness as malignant parasitic-like condition. Okay, yeah, yikes. Okay, regardless of what you think, yikes, this is not acceptable in my opinion. Yeah, it's thunder. A research article published last month in the Journal of American Psychoanalytic Association called Whiteness, quote, a malignant parasitic-like condition, in the description along with other language, has caused public anger, backlash against the author was evident on social media. Yeah, no kidding. These articles are thundering to be read. The article titled On Having Whiteness was written by Dr. Donald Moss, a white man who is a faculty member of both New York Psychoanalytic Institution and San Francisco Center of Psychoanalysis. In the article, Moss wrote that white people have a particular susceptibility to a parasitic condition. What does that mean? It renders its host appetites voracious, insatiable, and perverse. Yikes. They vote against themselves all the time. Sad. Is ADT angering the gods? Probably. That was... Ooh. We must attack and dethrone gods. True. He explained that he believed whiteness established entitled dominion that enables the host, to have power without limit, force without restriction, violence, and without mercy. I've heard this type of rhetoric before. I'd like to see some scientific data backing any of this up. Yeah. I've seen this type of rhetoric before, right? This is incredibly, like, weird, and quite frankly, disturbing. Just imagine if this was the title, or imagine if this was the title or language that this study was showing. This is an opinion article, but not a good argument. No, I don't know if this was this passed peer review. No, this is like this passed this went through a academic gauntlet, I think. This is not good. So just think about it this way. Can you imagine if the language of this article was on having whiteness? Yeah, here. Oh, this is the actual article. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I mean, what are we supposed to extract from this? Yeah, super yikesy. Yikes is the correct term. So can you imagine if this said, research article in medical journal describes Jewishness as malignant parasitic-like condition. Where have we heard that before? Can you imagine if that's what the title was? Called Jewishness, a malignant parasitic-like condition. Where have we heard this before? I mean, this is, and the fact that it's like a published academic, published medical thing is like kind of weird. The deformed appetites particularly target non-white people. Yeah, and it's true. This is not like on a government website, no less. The condition is foundational, generating characteristics of being in one's body, one's mind, and one's world. So like, there's no getting around this, according to this person. It creates this like, it creates this picture of there's nothing you can do. You have a parasitic-like condition. What's sad is I can see some leftists who think that this is 100% true. Yeah, that's a problem, and I'm trying to get ahead of it, and I'm trying to illustrate the problematic language and behavior that this can bring when we have so many better ways of addressing these problems, right? We have so many better ways of addressing problems. I think they mean white supremacy, not being white. It doesn't matter. They're not even specific. It doesn't matter. I can't extrapolate anything other than, holy yikes, what does this mean, right? I mean, how am I supposed to get anything, even if it's what does that mean? I think they mean racist people. Maybe. I don't know that. All I'm getting is language about a certain group of people having a unsatiable parasitic condition. So, I mean, oh boy, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yikes. So, yeah, this isn't talking about systemic issues. This is just claiming that something natural that is inherent, and that somehow it's white people are susceptible. So are they saying that this is even capable of, quote unquote, and I'm using their language, infecting other people? Who boy, and yet there's no permanent cure. You're just screwed. Yeah. This is super cringe. If you want to read the complete story, not the complete story. Here you go. And the problem with this is, you best believe if there isn't a segment about this already, you best believe Tucker Carlson is going to be talking about this, about how, like, but we can't allow this, right? There's literally nothing about, where's the data? There's nothing about it. It's completely like off the rocker, like completely out of reality. And that's the problem, because then, what happens is that these people, and I saw the post in social media where they cited this story on Facebook, and like immediately one of the first comments I saw were like, oh yeah, psychology or psychoanalyzing is Jewish. So this is the type of stuff that we're opening the door to, if we don't push back against like this type of like nonsense like this, right? Holy yikes. Yeah, I want to get ahead of that, and I want to cut it off before it becomes like some people unironically thinking that this is okay. Because this is like not good. Absolutely nothing to do with whiteness. Yeah, like absolutely nothing to do with anything. Yeah, like no. All right, folks. Before we need to do this story. This is important. All right. Yeah, race is so maybe we also can use that as a way of like just trying to like not make this always because like the argument is that there's a inherent biological like thing, right? You can't cure it. It's a mental thing that you can't. So like that's, ooh, yeah. Anyways, I just need to bring that to the attention because I just want to get ahead of that, because the likes of like, you best believe Tucker Carlson's going to have a segment on this, 100%. I think the article is just trying to say to get rid of social construction, but in reality, in Angie Way meant to get a reaction. Yeah, but like, is that really even, like, let's just say that premise is true. Like, is that a productive, is that like a weird, like, is that, when somebody sees that, and especially how like the media talks about things, like, how are we supposed to take away anything from that other than like, do I have a Paris, like, I don't know, it's just not, no. There's no way I can excuse this in any way, shape, or form. And if it's just to get a reaction, that's bad in and of itself. That is not science. I think that there are, if you want to like talk about like race relations and stuff like that, I think that there are 10 billion times other stuff, tens of thousands of other things that you can do to like talk about race relations than put this out, giving ammunition, giving credence to like the people who like the far right, giving credence to the far right, and like all this other stuff. This is not okay. The language being used here is not okay. Like this is like no. no. I mean, I would like for like people to just like get rid of like race as like a thing. Yeah, absolutely. But this is not the way. This is not the way. This is important, folks. So this is the main event. The world will fail unless climate and nature crisis are tackled together, says major report. Thank you, Darknet, for posting this. The world's climate and nature crises cannot be solved unless they're tackled together. Global temperatures are nearing levels deemed unsafe by climate scientists, while 77% of the world's land and 87% of its oceans are at risk. Our oceans have been degraded by humans, putting more species at risk than any other time in history. Oh, whoops. Hold on. I think we can fix this. Yeah, it's just... Alright, hold on. We're getting the, Alright, sorry guys. However, countries... Morning. Larry Vaccinated, how's it going? Our countries must ensure solutions that they pursue address both crises of effectively effectively or risk committing environmental epic fails, the scientists say. They point to tree planting with just a single species as an example of a solution that does little to tackle the decline of nature or climate crisis in long term. A sign of life that are returning. Signs of life are returning. Hey, even in areas where tree planting is the right thing to do, single species plantation forests are a disaster. Professor Camille Parmesan, a report author and ecologist at Plymouth University, told a press briefing held on Wednesday. For a forest to be able to be resilient to the climate crisis, you need to be diverse. Plantation forests are extremely vulnerable because every tree is of the same species. One drought or heat wave can cause the loss of the whole forest. In a peer-reviewed report, is the first collaboration between the world's leading climate science authority, the IPCC, and leading authority on biodiversity. I hope to see what's going on about, and all I saw was Larry Maxine saying moaning. So what are you guys up to? Howdy. I saw morning. I guess my eyes need checking. I read morning, but moaning. Leading authority on biodiversity decline, the IPCC on biodiversity and ecosystems. Together, the scientific groups warn that the world is currently not doing enough to recognize that the climate and nature crisis are inextricably linked. For example, the way humans impact the land through deforestation, agriculture, and development is chief driver of biodiversity loss, true. Also a major cost of the climate crisis, with land use accounting for around a quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions. Absolutely. I read morning too, and now I feel... and I feel debated. Okay, so this is true. I'm trying to get through this because this is incredibly important. What we've been talking about in terms of like climate change is one of the solutions. One of the many things that we need to do is I'm sorry, but you have to invest in restoring ecosystems properly, right? You have to make huge programs to restore ecosystems because these do have domino effects in terms of climate change. That's it. There's no real way about it. It's just the way it is. In terms of and now we get more and more data corroborating this. Thank you for the biddies, Alio. I appreciate that. World leaders discuss each problem at separate UN conferences, with the next summit on biodiversity loss taking place in Kunming, China in October, and next meeting on climate crisis taking place in Glasgow. Many of the solutions currently being considered by leaders also failed to take into account how both crises are interlinked. Yeah, this is a massive problem, too. This is all fine. This is all great and dandy, but no. The fact that we're going on we promise we're gonna do stuff tour without actually any sufficient plans laid out is scary. I think Darknet has also posted or made the point that sometimes this might even be more dangerous than climate denial itself, right? Because we feel like we're doing something, but in reality we're not. It's placating? I don't know. It's making us feel like we're doing something when in the reality is we're doing nothing. Hey, Peter Parker. He said that the big ticket option in the UK is peatlands, particularly in north and west of the country where we have large areas of peatlands, over 80% which are in relative poor condition. They've been drained for grazing and otherwise mismanaged. They emit a huge amount of carbon. A degraded peatland can be emitting over 30 tons of CO2 per hectare each year. Jesus. Yeah, technocopium. That's right. They added that there were environmental solutions on offer that could provide a win-win for both climate and nature crises. You have to take into consideration pouring resources into restoring important ecosystems, and there's no other way that can't be a part of the solution. Will Pearce, an ecologist at Imperial College of London who is not involved, described the findings as clear, authoritative, and informative. Only by treating climate, biodiversity, and human society as coupled systems we can address the current catastrophes. True. Simple quick fixes, be they tree plantations or technological innovations, are shown to be ineffective and sometimes actively harmful when implemented without such a holistic approach. There you go. This is also something that I believe Darknet brought up. Peatland is peatland. I don't think it's necessarily a swamp. Professor Mark Maslin, a climate scientist at University of London, said the report put forward undeniable science and we can no longer treat human impacts on land and oceans and in the atmosphere as separate. Yeah, the idea that that we can't have like this as all intertwined as the Earth's systems are so incredibly complex, and doing one thing here has domino effects on other parts of like not only weather patterns, but like even just messing around with the land has an impact on how things work. I don't get it. How people cannot understand just like just how people can't get that connection. Beet is a plant that grows in swamps. True. Get wrecked. Wow. Oh man, I feel so wrecked. Damn. He said Earth's biodiversity and functioning of many ecosystems are directly threatened by rapid climate change. Yes. However, to stabilize climate change, we need to enhance and support the Earth's ecosystem through massive rewilding and reforestation. Thank you. Is it swamp? Ah, gotcha. Okay, there we go. Anyways, folks, the point is, it is incredibly important we acknowledge these connections. I will post this here. You can also check out the link in chat, the link in the Discord. Please pay attention. This is a massive problem, and without us paying attention to this, we can't understand the full scope and ramifications of climate change. And again, this should invigorate us to try to do whatever we can in the time that we have to turn the ship around. Else, catastrophe. You know, that's all I can say. Folks, I really appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. You guys are what makes this channel grow. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share, do all the YouTube stuff, exclamation YT. Join the Discord if you want to keep up with the channel. Do all the awesome stuffs we hear Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I appreciate the Benjamin Dixon Show. Appreciate all the new follows. Appreciate the subscription. Surfer Go Gritty, thank you guys. Make sure you follow all the wonderful creators in chat. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya! Alright, folks. Hang with me. Majority report. Alright, majority report. Alright, folks, we're heading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. See ya.